Today's video is sponsored by me. Check out my shop at KaseyGolden.com to grab yourself one of these exclusive Kasey enamel pins, as well as these adorable mix and match face pins. Put them on your hat, bag, shirt, whatever. Mix them, match them, love them. You can also earn your own artist merit badges, like filling the first page of your sketchbook, artist hands, remembering to save, or participating in Uvember. Also celebrate not drawing the hand backwards, or, using too many layers. Also there's washi tape, only at KaseyGolden.com. Ah yes. Hair dye. Sometimes you dye your hair crazy colors to express yourself. Did I actually use the extra hair dye from this video to color my hair and maybe show it at the end of this video? Yes. This isn't a cry for help, it's art. So why the heck not? Can we paint with hair dye? Let's find out. Painting with hair dye is a very popular suggestion for my Painting With series. And recently I went to the pharmacy, went past the hair dye section, and saw all of these little cans of hair dye that just look like paint cans. And I knew I had to grab a few, so I grabbed red, yellow, and blue for the primary colors, and then pink and black for some additional colors. Now I know not all hair dye is true to the actual color you're dyeing your hair, so I knew black wasn't going to be black, but it was the darkest color there, and I needed something for line art and to also darken some of my colors. Pink I was hoping would be a little bit more pastel like the container showed, but sadly it was basically just a light red, which I could achieve by adding water. So when I came to swatching these, red and yellow were a dream, and then I got to blue and pink and they were just kind of transparent and goopy, and I got very worried. Black, as I expected, was a very deep dark purple, which was fine. I was okay with that. I tried to mix some colors. I made a magenta mixing blue and red, and I also tried to mix a green, but again, that blue was just so transparent. The green turned out pretty nice though. It's a nice poop green, and I was getting some earthy vibes from these colors and was starting to get inspired, so I was ready to sketch. Just like every other Painting With video, we are of course going to be drawing a character that's in a sort of explosive state, experiencing whatever we're painting with. Because I feel like the blue just isn't usable at all because it's just so chunky, though I really do love the earthy green and this earthy purple. I was thinking about going somewhere in a more earthy direction this time around. Usually I draw human characters, but I thought it would be fun if we actually drew, well, I guess technically they're still human, but we're going to be drawing a centaur. Okay, so we've got to put a body in here. So let's put a body, our second body. Should I give her like flappy donkey ears? Flappy donkey ears. I think I meant to say floppy. Maybe a cute nose. I just know that I want to make this green, and then I want to put like little flowers in it. I think that would be really cute. I know it is almost winter, but I'm really just imagining this sort of earthy character. Okay, I guess she's holding her hair. Maybe it's very heavy. Why would you be holding your hair? Is that strange? I feel like that's kind of strange. Maybe it should actually be, okay, you know what? It should actually be going because I want to censor the boobs for YouTube. They're actually gonna be holding their hair in front of them, like so. We can draw boobs that are censored. Is there also a braid on this end? I'm not sure. Maybe. Why not, right? What if they were looped together? Hi, look guys, I'm playing, oh, what if she was, oh, wait, this is actually a really cute idea. What if she was actually playing jump rope with her hair braided together? I think that would be cute. Maybe, maybe not. Well, this is adorable. Now it's just a matter of, can I pull this off using hair dye, because I'm a little worried. Okay, but what if when she's not playing jump rope with her giant braids, it was just like all piled on her back and she had to walk around with these huge heavy braids on her? Okay, that's just silly. But anyways, here is our character. I think this is actually super fun. Instead of going for a human like we normally draw, we're doing a half human, playing jump rope with her hair and tail. Completely normal, but also silly and fun, so I'm super excited. Though to be honest, very nervous about using hair dye to paint with. So let's get into it. After the initial swatch of the hair dye, I was super nervous going into this piece because I just knew that this was probably going to be one of the most difficult painting with videos that I have done to date. The materials did not seem very easy to work with, and I was worried for a struggle. I was worried for my art, and then this happened. The thing about hair dye is, I know this is going to be news to you, but it's not watercolor. Because of that, it doesn't act like watercolor. In fact, it acts a lot more like inks do. So this dye was not coming up. I tried to take a wet paper towel to that spot immediately to fix what I did, but nope, those spots were there. But you know what? That is just part of working traditionally, and I was gonna figure out a way to cover it up. Don't you guys worry. So going into this piece, I knew that putting down a flat wash of color, like a nice smooth color down, was just not going to happen. So immediately, as soon as I started to paint in the centaur's horse body, I went in with texture, and I decided that that's exactly how I'm going to have to work with this piece. This piece is just going to be a lot different than my normal way of working, my normal style. That is just what happens when you work with materials that weren't meant for art, and it's honestly part of why I love this series so much. You have to find a way to adapt not only your style, but your process of creating art and the way that you work and the way that you think about art supplies. These painting with videos, I never know what to expect. I never know what challenge this quote-unquote art supply is going to give me, and this time it was a little bit of everything. It was gloopy, it wasn't very water soluble, it did layer well, it acted a lot like ink, like I said, so things would go down and you could definitely layer them because they were not going to be lifted back up off the page, which means they were not going to be reactivated and blend in with any layers that I put down. So layering these colors was an absolute dream. I thought that was kind of funny. I knew that if I put some details down that they were not going to be destroyed by any other layer I put down on top of them, so I was able to work in different layers that I wouldn't normally work with watercolor. It also made shading very easy. So because some colors were more goopy than others, aka like the blue was super goopy, but something like the red and yellow was not very goopy, I was able to mix a few colors that weren't so goopy and a lot easier to blend together. So we have this skin tone. This light skin tone was very easy to work with because of the colors I used. Red, yellow, and I think a little bit of pink and purple. Because all of those colors weren't that goopy like the blue, in the end the result was very easy to work with, and I also mixed a lot of water into that one to make sure that it was nice and pale. The brown was probably the worst to work with. I don't know exactly why. I think I just didn't do a very good job mixing it in with the water. There wasn't a lot of blue in it, obviously, to make brown. What did I mix? A lot of red, some yellow, and I think probably the black. Those were all very easy to work with colors, so I think maybe I just didn't work the water into it enough. This was early on in the process, and as I worked with this material, I was able to slowly figure out the best ways to work with it, the best ways to mix it. Honestly, if I had more patience, the best way to work with this would probably to water it way down and just put several layers to build up color. It was a process that was going to take a very long time, and thankfully most colors did go down pretty vibrant. I just wish I had a better blue and green. Ah well. Initially going into this piece, I was going to work like I normally do, put down the color, then put line work, but I was really enjoying this sort of painted look that I don't normally go with because I had to play around with so much texture. I thought it actually looked kind of nice without the line work, but there were definitely places here and there that could benefit from line art and needed to be separated from other colors. So I just dipped right into the black hair dye mixed in with a little bit of water to create a line work sort of blackish color. I think overall, I absolutely love the look of this really deep dark purple line art. It's not exactly black, so it does bring a little bit of vibrant purple to this piece, and I think it just looks really nice. So I went through and added some intense shadows here and there, added some line work that really brought the piece together, added a lot of texture to the braid. I think it really benefited from that. And I also went through with some colors to help the gradient of the hair. Now the gradient of the hair was so smooth and I'm very surprised at how well it worked, but I did want to go in with some chunks of color just to give it that sort of, I don't know, more natural look with the braid, especially having the colors go in different directions. Speaking of her hair, I did mention in the sketch that I was going to give her a green, earthy, planty hair, but I decided because I was working with hair dye that it would be a little bit more on theme to create this really rainbow, colorful, hair dyed look, so that's what I ended up going with. And that was it. I added my splash of hair dye color as I do with all of my painting with videos. Always super fun to splash on some colors at the end. And there it is. Can you paint with hair dye? With a little bit of a struggle, yeah, you can. And I'm honestly surprised at how good it looks. And don't forget to go to KaseyGolden.com to get yourself these adorable enamel pins and earn yourself some artist patches. And can I just say a huge thank you to my patrons for all of their support. You guys are amazing. If you want early access to my videos, secret sketches, whips, and more, check out my Patreon in the link in the description. Thank you guys all so much for the support. Stay golden. Bye.